Thanks for tuning in to the OFN today, a special report coming down the headlines all across social media. I just got off recording a show, Rashad. I did, I had this couple of emails, and I see on one of the emails, I don't even have to read it, that Baker Mayfield traded to the Panthers. And 2 seconds later, I contacted you, and you were lucky enough that you were available. So thanks a lot for doing this on short notice. Obviously, I'm always going to turn to you for what's going on with the Carolina Panthers. And we talked about this potential trade a couple of times before and after the draft. You still didn't feel like it was going to take place, but it did. So how do you feel now?
Yeah, first of all, and I just got off a show on my own channel, and I need to eat crow, right? I always am gonna tell you when I'm wrong, and in this instance, I was wrong about Baker Mayfield, and I was wrong about the Carolina Panthers trading for Baker Mayfield. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but I'm not surprised. Let's put it that way because the Carolina Panthers are going to do whatever it takes to land a quarterback. It's if you look at what we've done over the history since Matt Rule's gotten here, since David Tepper's taken over ownership, they have just tried and tried and tried and tried and tried again, and they didn't feel comfortable rocking with Sam, so they went out and got Baker, and I mean, it is what it is. I can't say that, oh, this is going to make us a playoff team now. But is he better than Sam? Sure, but I don't know that we have the same uh, level of talent around him that he had in the with Cleveland. So I just it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack.
Well, that's why I wanted to, I mean, that's why I'm glad we get to talk to you now before you go off and do like 10 or 15 interviews over the next week. This is pretty early, so that's good. And I'm sure you're still trying to find the right words. Um, but you bring up a great point in that Mayfield has had the luxury of having the best rushing attack
Yes.
at his fingertips, which elevated his game a couple of years ago, which is why it looked like everything was going to be just so rosy heading into last season. But the injuries, more than anything, derailed his season. It wasn't anything personal. So that's a good thing, at least. But like you said, there's still an unknown factor of whether or not he's the type of quarterback that can actually lead a team and he can actually elevate a team, or does he need a surrounding cast around him in order to accomplish that? But in my opinion, when you only have to give up a conditional
Yeah.
pick in the mid rounds 2 years from now, I mean, that's
Yeah.
like giving away nothing.
Right.
So I look at that as a really good deal. And I guess the only other thing that we need to kind of also talk about is how does Robbie Anderson feel about this, and how will
Right.
this affect the locker room?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? And we talked about that on my show, my stream, maybe an hour or so ago. That's the biggest thing. But to address what you said, I mean, you hit it spot on. As a person that wasn't a proponent of the trade, the execution of the trade was perfect, right? You can't, if you're gonna give up, it does not mirror what we've done in the past with giving what we gave up for Sam Darnold.
Oh, nothing like it.
It doesn't mirror what we did when we got Teddy Bridgewater, paid him an exorbitant amount of money. So the trade execution, Scott Fitter, got to give him credit. You essentially, again, the fifth round pick for the potential of having a franchise guy. Sure, do it. $5 million this year. I have no problem with the execution of it. We got a ton of cap space. No problem with the execution of the trade. Now, there are some things we need to talk about, like you said, with the locker room, right? Um, Robbie Anderson, he as soon as this became news back a long time ago, he made his, voice be heard, went on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it was, and said, nah, I'm not really feeling that. And he just had a tirade yesterday. I don't know if it was in relation to this, but he went on a tirade the other day on Instagram and on his stories where he was essentially saying, everybody that doubts me, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, Robbie Anderson, but just know this. Robbie Anderson wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's going to say what he needs to say. He's comfortable with Matt Rule. He has the essential freedom to do what he wants because Matt Rule, at the end of the day, knows Robbie Anderson.
Yep.
And so Robbie Anderson that relationship is never going to fail because they know each other. Now, the other one that we need to talk about is McAdoo, our offensive coordinator. McAdoo had him ranked like the sixth uh, graded quarterback coming out of college, right behind Josh Rosen, behind everybody, Sam Darnold, behind Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and there was another guy that he had him behind. So what is Baker? How does Baker Mayfield feel about playing for a guy that essentially trashed him coming out of college? And Baker Mayfield is a guy that he's another guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's going to tell you what's going on. If he doesn't like it, he's going to say something. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see if everybody puts their egos to the side for the betterment of the Carolina Panthers. And if so, great. But I mean, I don't think people are just going to forget that things were said about him. And now but at the same time, I'm assuming he had to choose and he had to sign off on it.
Yes.
I'm assuming that, he's okay with it. So we'll see.
That's where I was going to get to. Yeah. There's no way if McAdoo felt that he could not work with Baker for whatever reason, no, don't do that, it's just not going to work out, then the deal wouldn't have been made. But again, it's like getting Mayfield for nothing. So who's to say? Now, obviously, I got to pay the guy a little bit of money, so that's different. So there is a little bit there. But other than that, the other thing that's a positive is that now, because we were talking about the fact that they were going to add another quarterback at some point. Who was that going to be? Yeah. And so I don't think you could have added a better quarterback that was available basically on the market, talent-wise. So that's good. Yes, this could explode in their faces. And by next year, we'll be talking about a new GM and a new head coach and new quarterbacks. And maybe Matt Corral becomes the quarterback in 2023 with a new head coach, or who knows what goes on. Maybe they're so bad that they'll get the first pick in the draft and take the kid from Ohio State. Who knows? But I think it's worth the risk. I really do, based on what they were dealing with, having to go into the regular season with Sam Darnold again, possibly as the number one quarterback, or a rookie that you just don't know was ready. I think that this at least gives you a little bit more competition at the most important spot on the team.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's about flexibility, right? It's about being able to put the best man. It's competition, right? And I said this joke on our show. I don't know if we have iron sharpening iron. I wouldn't say that that's applicable to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, but you have guys out there competing, right? Those two guys are gonna may the best man win, and we'll play the best quarterback. And if it's Baker Mayfield, I mean, what a storyline going into week one. I mean, I'm sure that'll be primetime TV going up against the old team week one.
Oh, really?
In Charlotte. Yeah, in Charlotte. In Charlotte. So it's going to be interesting. And again, like it was said earlier, we're going to have to see whether Baker Mayfield can carry a team, because we don't have the number one offensive line in the league. No. We don't have the number one run game in the league. We don't have a top 10 defense right now. No. Baker had all those things while he was with the Browns. So we're going to have to see if he can do it. Now, have we improved? Yes, the offensive line. I'm not going to sit here and say we're not capable of being great, because the offensive line, we drafted Icky. Yep. We got Austin Corbett. We got Taylor Moton, Bradley Bozeman. Somebody's going to play left guard, and we're going to be okay. But is it going to be enough to make Baker Mayfield comfortable? Is it going to be the run game, adding Deontay Foreman? Sure, that's going to be great if we actually mix it up with Christian McCaffrey. It's all about coaching. And again, the biggest complaint from any Panthers fan over the past couple of years has been coaching. It hasn't necessarily been the talent. We feel like we've had talent on the roster. It's about the coaching. Now, you literally have no excuse. You have a former first number one overall guy on your roster. You have everything is theoretically in place for you to succeed. You just got to coach it. And that's the biggest concern on my part right now is, can Matt Rule coach what he has? That's every Panthers fan question.
That's it. Because in the NFL, there's so much parity. And all you want really as a fan is you just want a chance. You want to look at your roster and say, if everything goes right, do we have a chance? And when you look at the Panthers roster now compared to last year, you can say that. You can say, you know what? if Mayfield works out and McCaffrey stays healthy and so forth and so on, we have a chance to be a playoff contender this year. I don't think you could have said that last year. So I think that at least, again, whether it blows up in their faces or not, the fact is at least they're giving themselves a chance, and I have to respect them for that.
Yeah, and again, from a Panthers fan perspective, I'm the type of guy. I wasn't a fan of the trade. I wasn't a fan of the potential trade happening, but now that it's happened, I'm rocking with Baker. That's my guy now.
That's it.
And so, I'm gonna cheer for him, and all Panthers fans should cheer for him. He needs a fair shot.
Yes.
The slate is wiped clean. He comes in during training camp. I'm glad we got it done before training camp. Now he has a full training camp to come in, learn the system. It's important. I was hoping that it got done during OTAs, because this has been, according to a source that I have that has a source. I'm not the direct source, but I have a source that has a source that said this was done a long time ago, right? This was done. It was supposed to be done a while back. It didn't get done for whatever reason. And I believe, this is my opinion, this is not from a source, this is my opinion, is that the $3 million that he decided to eat, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because the Browns weren't moving off of their $10.5 million that they were eating. They weren't moving off of that. And I believe Baker Mayfield eating the $3.5 million and just kind of negating that, and then just taking the $5 million, I think that's what got it done. But this was supposed to be done a long time ago. Baker was supposed to be the quarterback. It didn't get done back then. And now it's done.
Well, again, though, at least it's done a month before training camp, so that it's still. Right. And he's a veteran. He's not a rookie. So, yeah, I don't know about the terminology, how much different that's going to be. We'll find out in the coming days. I don't know. Again, it's been such a short amount of time that we've had to digest this, but this is something that you're obviously going to talk a lot about in the coming weeks on your show. And again, that's on YouTube. And we have a link for it on our channel. So you can go directly to that from our channel to your channel. And we'll have a link on it as well in the description area of this interview. We're going to talk definitely around a month from now, right around before training camp begins, or right when the training camp period does start off, either late July, early August. I can't wait for that. Before I let you go, I know you got to run. I know you haven't had a lot of time, but have you heard anything from your fan base?
Oh yeah. It's about 60-40. 60% likes it, 40% doesn't like it. I did actual poll. That's real numbers. I did a poll on the stream right after it went down, 60-40. And I get it. I get both sides of it. People are tired of Sam Darnold. They want something else. And we've got something else. And other folks are saying, hey, we're tired of the quarterback shuffle. And they don't think Baker's enough. He's not the guy. So I get both sides of it. All I'm saying is that I just give him a fair shot. He deserves the opportunity to go out there and play. And I'm going to be out there at training camp. Training camp starts July 27th, I want to say. And I'm going to be out there live streaming it. So if you want to come on our channel, that'd be great. Panther Nation Podcast on YouTube, come watch it. Come watch Baker. I'll be out there. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Some Panthers fans are excited. If not, just interested to see how it pans out. So I'm ready for it.
And you're going to be, how long are you going to be there?
I'll be there damn near every day.
Oh, for what's that like? For about 2-3 weeks then?
About 2 weeks. Yeah, I may miss a few days, but for the most part, I'll be out there.
And you'll be streaming live from training camp.
Streaming it live.
That's awesome.
Live.
Well, I'm going to try to get out there then, because I have to hopefully it's like about 3 hours from where I'm by Asheville. So it's about a 3.5 hour drive, but I have to figure out a way to get out there and stop in and talk to you. And I think that'd be great. And I appreciate you doing this on short notice, Rashad. Again, can't wait to talk to you in about a month. I'm sure the fans can't wait for training camp to begin. By the way, one quick thing. Anything on the injury front?
Yep.
With Mayfield?
No, but he passed his physical. So that's one that, I don't know the specifics, but the physical is passed. So I'm under the assumption that he's healthy and ready to go.
Sounds good. Rashad, great job. We'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, Panther fans, check out Rashad's show. We haven't been able to talk to your partner yet. So
Dave.
Yeah, Dave. So hopefully I'll get a chance to do that one day, maybe when I come down to training camp. But Rashad, I appreciate it as always. And we'll talk to you again sometime soon.
Yep. Sounds good, man. Anytime.